Welcome back and thanks for staying with us on Good Morning Abuja. It's up next for our discussion segment. Every time he is on the show, he leaves us empowered, informed with so much information and just gearing us ready for nation building like never before. Please welcome my guest, Engineer Abayomi Onosonya, the Global Director, Africa House. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for
Welcome to
having
the
me.
show. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you
Thank you
here.
very much. Pleasure
Today,
is
we
mine.
are discussing boosting Nigeria's export potentials. All right, what are the export potentials in Nigeria to begin with?
All right. Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Nigeria is a very, very wealthy country. And in fact, we don't need no soothsayer to tell us that. And you discover that Nigeria is one of the few countries in the world where every state has something to offer. If you start from Abuja here, Abuja is littered with lithium, cashew. You move to Nasarawa, they've got a lot of minerals and gemstones. You go to Jos, they're littered with opportunities. And as a result, Nigeria is one of the most strategic nations on the planet where people should take very, very, very seriously because we've got the resources that everyone needs. When you talk about minerals, we're talking about green energy. We're talking about renewable energy. Lithium is the heart of the renewable energy industry. Nigeria is littered with that. Not only are we full of lithium, lithium has one of the purest concentrations on the planet. So, and then agricultural produce. We look at cashew. Cashew is one product that everyone wants to eat because it's considered a healthy snack for people watching their health and all that. And also we have even palm oil that now people are using as an alternative to diesel fuel. And then you go to places like Enugu, they've got coal, fantastic coal deposits over there. And I can go on and on and on and on. But the truth is, all these things make up that potential that we estimate is actually more than $1 trillion every year. That's just a minimal estimation. If you want to actually assess what we can offer the world, we'll be talking about 10, 20 trillion easily every year. But right now, we're not doing so well. We're doing around 60, 70 billion naira in exports. And most of that, by the way, comes from oil and gas. And thankfully, the federal government and different agencies of government, they are trying their best to see how they can improve on that. And in order for us to do that, we need to do sensitizations like we're doing right now so that Nigerians can know that export is possible, it is doable, and we all should be part of that particular dream. Otherwise, we'll still be crying and we'll be blaming ourselves that the economy is hard and whatnot. But the right time to start is actually now, now, now. You and I, we need to be involved in export, and I hope my listeners are taking a cue or they're going to be taking their pens and papers to note the opportunities that we have to explore together because it's a collective journey. I can't do it alone, you can't do it alone. We all have to come together to build Nigeria. And I can guarantee you, if we do this in the next 20 years, Nigeria will be ranked side by side with countries like America, the UK, and France because we have everything. We basically are loaded with export potentials.
Interesting. In the midst of all these potentials, what seems to be the barriers? What are the barriers to this
Well,
export
the
potential?
number one barrier, I love that question, number one barrier is knowledge. If you don't know what you have, how would you even explore it?
Mm.
If you don't know the potential of what you've got, then how do you even start saying, okay, fine, let me start making money? And I'll give you a very practical example. A few days back, with the NEPC, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, organized the third non-export sensitization program at the Villa, and I was opportunity to be there. And then, when I came into the program, I went straight to the exhibition booth before I went to sit down. And then, from the very first booth that I went to, all I could say was, "Wow, wow, wow, how, wow!" Products. And one of the products that I saw was this mosquito repellent cream that was made by this lady from Jos. Okay, and to her, she may be struggling, say, I'm trying to sell locally. If I can sell one or two in a month or in a day, whatever, this will be fine. But the truth is, I saw it beyond what the way she was saying it. Because the truth is, that industry, God knows how many millions of people are infected with malaria every year, even in Nigeria. You can do the math. And she's doing it on a small scale, And I told her, Madam, what you have, if you're able to get the right knowledge, upgrade these things, you're able to make good money because around the world in tropical countries, people use anti-malaria creams. Even when foreigners come to Nigeria, they use it because they've been
Yes.
told, oh, mosquito will bite you and whatnot. So that's those stuff. And other products, for example, like shea butter. I saw a lot of product people there displaying shea butter. And then the first thing I did was I looked at their packaging. I was like, wow, this is where you have to start. Your packaging is not right. And of course, and I also told them, listen, this shea butter that you have, is the new crude oil when it comes to the cosmetics and the beauty industry. Shea butter is the next big thing. And for my listeners, shea butter is something you really need to take a critical look at. And what do I mean by this? Now the whole world is moving towards organic things, even in the food we eat, the things we put on our skin and whatnot. And then they've discovered all of a sudden that shea butter is basically not only a medicine, but it's a beauty, a universal beauty product that works for everything, both for hand lotion to hair creams and whatnot. As a result, different foreign countries now are exploiting, I don't want to use the word exploit now, exploring that shea butter industry. So they're buying this in the raw forms, they're forming different alliances, different corporations, associations, and whatnot to offtake the shea butter so now they can take it to their country and then reformulate it and send it back to us as made in whatever, whatever, and then we'll rush and be paying our dollars just to buy it. So the potential is enormous, but the number one barrier is knowledge. Like what we're doing now, we need to let people know the potential is too great and we need to know how we need to access it. Then number two barrier is policies and the bureaucracies in our system. If, for example, the lady making shea butter wants to export now, number one, she doesn't have access to the funding that allows her to be able to expand her operation. Around the world, when you're an exporter, you get automatic funding and support from the government that which basically encourages you. They tell you don't worry, keep trying, keep trying. They will even open up markets for you so that you are able to explore those markets. And then that does not exist. It exists, but it's not effective enough. And also logistical challenges. And during the conference that we did in the Villa last few days, we discovered that, you know, even exporting within Africa, let's say you're taking something from Nigeria to Burkina Faso, for example, the hurdles that you will face is greater than you sending it to France. Because, of course, we have this ETLS, this ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme that allows us as ECOWAS members to sell things to ourselves easily. But you discover on paper is a different thing. The reality is different. The moment you get to the border, you get to the Benin Republic border, they will start slapping you with charges and ridiculous fees that you begin to wonder, are we not members of ECOWAS? So our government needs to work seriously with our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the trade ministries and all that to remove those barriers so that our products can go way, 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 way further. So to summarize all the barriers, what do I mean by this is the summary is that we need a platform where Nigerians can explore, where they can just focus on the production and the creativity without having to think about the roadblocks along the way, just like many countries have done for their citizens. So we need to look at all of that, remove all the roadblocks, and then we can start exploring our potential. And what will happen in essence is everybody will become a producer now. Even you as a media person will say, you know what? I'm doing media in the day, in the evening, I'm into cosmetics or beauty. And then you discover that your income from that export will be even bigger than what you're doing in the media. I will say, okay, fine, I'm a director in the afternoon, but in the evening, I'm manufacturing cashew nuts, for example. So the potential is there, the barriers are there, but the barriers need to be removed so people can explore and then start conquering new territories.
The more you know, the fewer mistakes you're going to make. There's a whole lot when it comes to boosting export. Government policies are also involved. When we come back from the short break, Engineer Bayami will talk to us and his plus of the dynamics. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. It's Good Morning Abuja on NTA Abuja, the Unity Station. Today discussing boosting economic potentials for Nigeria. Um, Engineer Bayam, you would agree with me that government policies must be put in place for it to thrive.
True.
Talk to us about this.
Well, yes, the right policy is what will spur export in any nation. In fact, you discover that most advanced nations, the first thing they do is they enact policies that will allow export thrive. And if your export thrives, what basically means is your country becomes richer. That means you're getting more money. So in the case of Nigeria, a couple of things we need to do. I mean, number one is we need to promote ourselves. And I keep saying this, I probably have said this on this platform before. We need to take our trade promotion seriously. And this is where NEPC comes into play. And any Export Promotion Council cannot do it alone. They have to work in partnership with our foreign missions across the world. We have several missions, I think 100 plus missions around the world. And I keep saying our embassies and high commissions are not there just to stamp visas or do consular services. In fact, 90% of the activities should be centered around promoting Nigerian products in their respective countries. Because if you see the allocation we pay to these embassies, because some countries are very expensive, they're millions and millions of dollars every year. So in order to justify that amount of money we're spending on our foreign missions, we need to train our foreign desk officers so that they know how to promote Nigeria out there. For example, I can say, let's say I'm in Lebanon, Nigerian embassy in Lebanon. I will say, okay, listen, in Lebanon, I know you guys love cashew, you love this and this. So we organize regular trade promotion activities for Lebanese supermarkets, businessmen, retail chains to come to the embassy or to a venue to promote made in Nigeria product. That has to be done every time, always. So that way we are creating an awareness in the minds of the local community so that when next they pick a cashew from the supermarket and say, oh, yes, I heard that guy talk about it on TV or on that program. So that means you're creating a psychological imprint in their minds when it comes to making Nigerian product. That's number one. And number two is that we need to create what we call co-manufacturing centers. And this is what we're doing also as Africa House. What do I mean by a co-manufacturing facility? For an entrepreneur to start the journey of export, it's often difficult, especially if you want to export. In order for you to get the money to buy the equipment and the other things you need to start up and to become an exporter, sometimes it's very difficult because most banks won't even lend you money they'll give you even at high rates, you see. And what the co-manufacturing hub will now do is that we'll have like a huge center where anybody who wants to do cosmetics can go to manufacture. And in that place, the equipments are already there. All the equipment you need is already funded or is been purchased by private sector or by PPP, so that you only go there with your creativity and your raw materials. You produce, you label, and the good thing about that is that all of a sudden NAFDAC becomes easy. All of a sudden, getting foreign certifications, like all those the stringent certifications, like for Australia and the rest, is automatic because they know it is made from this facility that is according to world standards. So that way, 1,000 people can be producing in the same facility. And once we do that, you discover that everything that comes out of those product processing centers will be geared only towards export. And you may want to ask me, what about our export processing zones, our free zone areas? Yes, we do have a lot of them. In fact, we have so many of them on paper. But the truth is, when you go to some of those places, only few of them are actually performing in terms of actually manufacturing for export. So this is where we need to work and I would like to have a synergy with our export processing zone, our free zone authorities, to ensure that whenever we establish a free zone, let's say here in Abuja, that free zone is equipped with all the tools and equipments that an entrepreneur will need to be able to be successful. So that way our productivity will increase very, very fast. And of course, the cost of doing business will reduce because in a free zone area, taxes are zero. So when you bring in raw materials and you're adding value to it and you're exporting, you basically pay only the added service charges. So that's one area we also need to take a critical look at. And then thirdly is the issue of finance. And this is where BOI comes into play. BOI and Nexin comes into play. If I said this in the BOI's sensitization program we had last Tuesday, I said, listen, in order for us to be able to boost our export, money must be available to finance export. Export requires a lot of money. People think export is just okay. I have my kuli on the floor. People will just send me money and then I'll become rich. No, export goes beyond that because what will usually happen is your buyers in those countries they will send you a letter of credit. A letter of credit is a financial instrument that is not cash, but it is cash at the same time, which basically means you can only get this money if you're able to prepare my goods ready to go. Then, when I'm sure it's ready, then I'll pay you. So what now happens is most exporters of today they're having a challenge of financing their export. Exactly. So when the LC comes for $10 million, for example, and you're supposed to go to the bushes to purchase the cashew, pay your transport guy, pay your workers, pay all those things in order to get it ready for export so you can put it in the container, you need actual physical cash. So we should have a policy that says all commercial banks, and this is where commercial banks are failing. Only one or two of them are doing well, but most of them, they need to be taught in this area. When letter of credit comes into Nigeria, there should be a system that automatically will finance that exporter to be able to do all those purchases he needs to make so that he's ready to be able to send to the buyer abroad. And then they will also make money. That's the beauty about export. Banks can make double of whatever they are making now if they start doing export. And I don't want to mention names of banks, so it won't be like marketing. But the truth is, some of them are doing well, but a lot of them don't even know what an international LC is. They don't. They will even tell you, "What do I do now?" Yes, you have an LC. So the banks need to be educated. They need to be sensitized. Nexim needs to help them. BOI needs to provide facilities so that the money is there to actually boost our export. So, like I said from the beginning of the program, at the beginning of the program, export is a collective journey. It's a journey of entrepreneurs, banks, governments, policies, systems, and all of us as a whole. So if we're all able to take it serious and then you discover that now unemployment will disappear, absolutely. Because you think about it, imagine you're earning times 10 of your salary. Think about that for a moment. What would happen to you? You would employ more people. Thank you very much. If our cameraman is earning times 20 of his salary, he will be doing media in the day and he has 50 people working for him. So that way we will have, in fact, we will have overemployment. That will even be bringing foreign workers to be working in our factories. And the opportunities are enormous. You see, and then we all can build this wonderful country together.
Let's look at some of the exportable services, especially intellectual property.
All right. I mean, we all know for a fact that Nigerians are very creative people, very intelligent. In fact, in my opinion, we're one of the most intelligent people on on the planet because we can, we can create things. So in that regard, you discover that we've ignored our creative industry in terms of export. Do you know how many directors that can write fantastic scripts for movies and for songs? I mean, if you look at some of these streaming platforms, I don't want to mention which ones now. You see some production companies doing movies that can be screened in New York, in France, and other parts of the world. So we need to start exporting the expertise that our creative people have developed. And I like to use this example. That's our young people, our young content creators on Instagram and all those social media platforms. They create content even in their backyard, and then you discover that these contents go viral across the world. So we need to start getting these people towards exporting those creativity to the West, such a way that Samsung or Apple or any big company can come to Nigeria and say, listen, we want you to create a content for us that we will be playing all across the globe. So we can do that. And also our music industry. Our musicians, they've put Nigeria on the global map based on using their talent. Gone were the days of KKD1 and all these guys, Idris Abdulkarim and all those singers that let the world know that actually we can do music. But now we've gone beyond that and we've become so known that when you talk about Afrobeat or hip hop, whatever, you must mention Nigerian artists. You have to. So the question now is, in order to make money from that, we need to make it so attractive that we're giving them finance so that they can market themselves across the globe, so that all those major record labels across the world will come to Nigeria and say, you know what, start doing production for us. And of course, doing that, we'll be employing a whole lot of young people in that creative sector, and then they'll be able to repatriate that capital back into Nigeria. Even fine arts. This is one area that I want our listeners to please take a critical look at. Visual arts. I'm not an artist, but thank you for correcting me. Visual arts, right? Those people that draw, right? These guys, if you see some of the painting that comes out of Nigeria, it will amaze you. Some of the art sculptures that these people sculpt, you say, whoa, this is actually good. And these are sculptures that you can sell for thousands and thousands of dollars. And we need to start thinking outside our box to say, okay, I'm a Nigerian artist based in Abuja, based in Lagos or Enugu. If my heart is so good, let me start selling my heart to the rest of the world. Let's start taking our artwork for display in Western galleries, in all those high-class galleries where people can pay hundreds, if not millions of dollars for artwork. So as an artist, the potential is huge and you can actually conquer the world. Let's look beyond our borders and beyond our barriers and know that yes, we can take on the world and Nigeria can be known for exporting our services and other things, other wonderful things across the globe.
Heartwarming and insightful talking with you this morning. But before I let you go, what will be your word of advice first to government and then to the citizens?
Well, my advice is this: the government should make the export journey easy for people. Please remove all the barriers to export. Like I said, promote made in Nigerian products. Use your foreign missions across the world to promote Nigeria. And also, please remove bureaucratic red tapes. For example, you want to export through a Papa ports or through our land port, you can wait 3 weeks just to get into the port. Please clear all these backlogs and make export fast and quick so that within 24 hours, your goods can get on the container and is on its way out. That's for the government. And for the side of the people, Nigerians, our country is loaded. We should move away from this idea government must employ everyone, everybody must milk government for their income. The truth is, be creative enough. Thank God for the internet. Start searching and see how things are done outside Nigeria and take a cue from them and then start creating products that people can buy. If you are making kuli kuli, don't make kuli kuli. Don't call it kuli kuli, in fact, because someone in America does not want no kuli kuli. Call it roasted peanut cake. Touch it up, make it sophisticated, someone becomes curious. What is this? And let me quickly chip this in because I saw a product called date coffee. I was amazed. And this was made by a company here in Abuja. Date coffee was made from the seed inside date. And if you drink it, it tastes exactly like coffee. And it even gives you energy, even more than coffee, without coffee itself. Innovative. I was like, wow. So, guys, you can do it. Be creative, and I guarantee you, the sky is the starting point, not even the limit. And Nigeria will be great. God bless Nigeria.
Well, I have to thank you so much for coming. It has been very, very educational this morning.
Thank you.
And I look forward to having you again really soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, a lot of potentials are bound in this wonderful country, Nigeria. All hands should be on deck. You play your role, I do my part, and we get this country up and running for good. Stay with us on the program. Good morning, Abuja. We will continue.